Now, here's where I want to go real quick, though, Hack. I want to, like, I've done some digging in this Michigan game. I fully expected Ohio State to win that ball game, for the record. I fully expected Ohio State to not just win it, but I expect them to dominate that ball game and for this script to be flipped completely than where I'm fixing to go with it. So Michigan wins this ball game. They win it convincingly. They skull drag Ohio State. If you watch the ball game outside of the first 10 minutes, I'm not real sure that it's – I'm not real sure.
Outside of 5 plays. Outside of 5 plays, it wasn't a complete ass whooping the way the scoreboard reflected and the way people thought it was. Outside of 5 plays.
It's a lot of plays, Hack. But I agree. That's where I'm going. I'm glad you brought it up because that's exactly where I'm going. Like, my concern with Michigan is that we're blowing Michigan completely out of proportion. Because you look at that ball game, J.J. McCarthy had a 69-yard touchdown, a 75-yard touchdown, and a 45-yard touchdown. Edwards had a 75-yard run and an 85-yard run. In that ball game, right? In that ball game, they had 2 sustained drives.
Yeah.
The first drive, that was a field goal, right? That was 10 plays, 44 yards, and a field goal. And then whatever that was, where J.J. McCarthy ended up outrunning his offensive lineman to the damn end zone and scoring a touchdown. They went 15 plays, 81 yards, and chewed up damn near 8 minutes.
That was it. That was, I think, to start the third or fourth quarter. It chewed up a ton of damn clock.
Yeah, I think it straddled the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But my point is exactly what you were fixing to make. Is those are the only 2 sustained drives. You couple that with the fact that you've got a young quarterback, young, inexperienced quarterback, who I think grew leaps and bounds last week, but I still think he's got a lot of developing and maturing to do. This may be a Michigan team that we're blowing a little bit out of proportion in terms of all of a sudden maybe they jump Georgia, maybe they don't. If you really look beyond the box score, those 5 big plays, man, they were big and they won that ball game. But does it really mean that Michigan's ready to go 4 quarters blow for blow with a team in a championship or in the college football playoffs?
Yeah, man. And it's hard because I don't want to like take the credit away from Michigan for making those plays. Right. And that's where I got to toe the line of like bias within the conference. And like, it's just hard, man. But like, to me, Ohio State did their job again, outside of 5 plays. And even if they did their job for 2, maybe 3 of them, I think we're still talking about a completely different outcome in that football game. However, again, not taking anything away from Michigan. They made the plays. They did it. They won it, right? It completely in control of the conference. I just think, to your point, they're not quite there yet in terms of turning the corner. I think they got the right pieces in place. The pieces aren't polished enough yet. And they're going to have to grow up really fast to compete with the Georgias. And even, really, let's just say Georgia, because they kicked their ass last year on national television in the first round, right? So let's just say Georgia, right? To compete with Georgia and take that next step in beating powers outside of the Big Ten Conference consistently, that's where they need to go. And it's going to start here, handling your business, being mature enough to handle your business in the Big Ten championship game, which should be a walkthrough, and then prepare for the first round. That's where my eyes are with this Michigan team.
Yeah, Heck, I'm with you on the big plays. However, I looked at that like I'm watching Ohio State's ass got tight with about 8 minutes left in that third quarter. That was very un-Ohio State like.
Oh, 100%. And if we're going to make the conversation about Ohio State, like, here's the thing, man. To me, the dominance factor that happened last year, the physical dominance factor that happened last year was out the window. I don't think you can make that argument. They didn't sack C.J. Stroud until like they were in the 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter. Ohio State's defense, to your point, outside of an 85-yard run and a 75-yard run, held their rushing attack, which is granted, without Blake Corum, but held their rushing attack to the 2 runs accounted for almost 2/3 of their yards.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, they were stifling. And then offensively, they just, they were running the ball at like 4.3 yards a clip, Ohio State was, but then they abandoned it and they couldn't score in the red zone. Right. So like, it's an uncharacteristic team from Ohio State in terms of what it is. Right. I'm not going to make any more excuses for Ohio State. Whatever happens, happens. We'll see what my thing is. No, but dead ass. Like, I'm still confident in that team. My problem is again, it just happens to be one of those situations to me where shit just doesn't lay out right. I still think that Ohio State standardized from a standard standpoint, you get them a chance again, another chance. They're not going to fuck it up. They're not going to fuck up a second chance. They screwed this one up, but from my experience, it ain't going to happen again if they get another shot this year past just a New Year's Six bowl game.